Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Hope everybody is doing amazingly well. Welcome back to another lesson of English with Ashish. And guys, in today's lesson, we are going to master how to use present indefinite tense in the passive voice. You heard me right. We'll understand when and how to use present indefinite tense, also known as simple present tense, in the passive voice. That's what we are going to focus on. That is exactly what we are going to learn, we are going to master. So make sure you watch the lesson until the end. It's going to be fun, it's going to be informative, it's going to change your life. I'm excited as always. I know you guys are too. Let's do this. Alright everybody, let's start with understanding what exactly present indefinite tense is, when to use it, right? And before we do that, before we understand when to use present indefinite tense, also known as simple present tense, let me tell you that we have a detailed lesson on the usages of present indefinite tense. The link is in the description, you can check that out, right? That lesson explains all the usages of present indefinite tense. But the examples are in the active voice. Most of the examples are in the active voice, but this lesson is going to be specifically about the usage of present indefinite tense in the passive voice. All right, so let's quickly understand when to use the present indefinite tense, also known as simple present tense. So guys, the main usage of this tense is to talk about what you do, right? To talk about something that you do over and over again, that you do repeatedly. Now, what do you do? What do you do in life? What do we all do? What are the things we all do? We sleep, we wake up, we brush our teeth, we take a bath, we take a shit, we pee, we defecate, we have food, we eat food, we drink, we talk to people, we speak, we study, we learn, we go out, we walk, we move, all right, we sing, we dance, we work, all right, we sleep, we jump. These are some of the things we all do, right, repeatedly over and over again. Now, when you want to talk about something that you do, you use present indefinite tense to talk about that. If somebody asks you, what do? You say, I teach English, I work at a company, I run a business. So you use present indefinite tense to talk about what you do, all right? You can also talk about when you do that, how you do that, at what frequency you perform that action. You can also do that, right? I teach English every Sunday. I work at a company on every Saturday, once in a while, all right? You can talk about the frequency or the time or the manner of the action as well. That's a different story, okay? So the main purpose, the main usage of this tense is to talk about what you do or what somebody does. Okay, apart from this usage, we also talk about what you like, what you don't like, right? What your goals are, what your interests are. Okay, we talk about our likes, dislikes, our goals, our interests, what we want to achieve in life, our ambitions, right? Our goals, right? This is how we use present indefinite tense. This is why we use present indefinite tense. So let's look at the definition written over here and try to understand present indefinite tense again. All right, so the present indefinite tense is a verb form. A verb form only helps you identifies what tense it is. All right, so it's a verb form that is used to state, to talk about facts, repeated actions, habits, what you do repeatedly, habits, and what you like, what you do and you enjoy doing, your interest, something that you enjoy doing but you might not be doing it over and over again, right? You might not be regular with that, your interest, right? We also use this tense to talk about what we do, the same thing, right? Repeated actions, what we do, what we like, our likes, what we dislike, things we don't like, right? I don't like talking to people, I don't like eating ice creams, something like that. What our goals and ambitions are. So these are the main usages of present indefinite tense. If you want to explore all the usages of present indefinite tense, watch my lesson on that. The link is in the description. All right, now understand this. Every sentence in the English language is either in the active voice or in the passive voice. Let's quickly understand what is active voice and what is passive voice, okay? So let's understand this. So guys, active voice, let's call it AV. In the active voice, we focus on the person, who performs the action. Let's call this person the doer of the action. So the focus of the sentence is the person who performs the action in the active voice. If a sentence is in the active voice, we focus on the person that performs the action. Okay. Now, when do we use the passive voice? A sentence is written or spoken in the passive voice when the focus is not the person, who performs the action. This is not the focus here in the passive voice. No, not at all. The focus is the object, is the person or the thing that receives the action, that the subject acts upon. So in the passive voice, we focus on the object of the verb, not the subject, not the doer of the action. All right. Now let's look at the structures of both the active voice and the passive voice in present indefinite tense. So active voice, how do we form a sentence? First comes the subject. This is the person who performs the action, the doer of the action. Let's call it doer. Then comes the verb in the base form, V1. All right. If the subject is plural, the verb remains V1. If the subject is singular, we add S or ES at the end of the verb, right? Play, plays, dry, dries, all right? Cry, cries, something like that. And after that, we have the object. We have the object or modifier. But if you have a modifier in a sentence, if you do not have an object, that particular sentence cannot be changed in the passive voice. So let's remove the word modifier from here. Though you can have a modifier in a sentence, apart from instead of having an object in a sentence, you can also have a modifier. Okay, but we'll avoid using it because that particular sentence cannot be changed into the passive voice. That's why we're avoiding it. Okay, so this is how we write a sentence in the active voice in present indefinite tense. Subject, verb in the base form plus the object. All right, now passive form. First comes the object, the receiver of the action. Then to be form of verb. Okay, let's remove this. Then to be form of a verb is MR, followed by the main verb, which is V3, which is past participle, followed by plus the doer of the action, which is optional. Understand this. Mentioning the doer of the action in the passive voice is completely optional, and most of the times we never mention, we don't mention the doer of the action. All right, so now let's look at some examples. Since we have understood the structures, let's look at some examples and see how we write sentences in both the voices and when it's necessary to do that. Okay, example number one. This is example number one. Okay, example number one. All right, active voice. People speak English around the world. People speak English around the world. The focus is on the subject, which is people. All right, people do this around the world. So subject, verb, object around the world is a modifying phrase. Okay, people do something, people speak English around the world. Now, if you do not want to talk about who does the action, but you want to focus on what is done, you'll write the sentence or speak the sentence in the passive voice. So in the passive voice, it becomes English is followed by to be form of a verb. Since the subject is singular, we'll use is. Singular subject, singular helping verb, which is. English is spoken, speak, spoke, spoken. The past participle of speak. English is spoken around the world. English is spoken around the world. Now, who does that? That is not important to talk about. That is not important to mention, as we already know that it is obvious that it's people. It is obvious that people speak English around the world. It's people who do that, right? But that's not the point of using the passive voice. The point is this is done around the world. English is spoken. So we're focusing on on the noun English. English is spoken around the world, right? English is spoken around the world. We can obviously mention the doer of the action by people, right? We can do that, but we'll not do it because that's not important, right? Second example, they close the bar every day at 9 p.m. They do something, they close what? The bar. This is the object, right? This is the subject. They do something, they close the bar every day at this particular time. Now, what happens every day? The bar is closed. The bar is closed. The bar, singular subject. All right, the bar is object, which is working as the subject in the passive voice. The bar is closed every day at 9 a.m. Right? Now, somebody basically wants to know when the bar is closed. Who does that is not important. It doesn't matter who does that. I don't care about the person who does that. I just want to know when this happens, when the bar is closed. So the bar is closed every day at 9 a.m. Okay, by somebody, by them. We can talk about the doer of the action as well, but that's not needed. That is not important. So we'll avoid talking about the doer. Okay. Again, third example. John teaches wrestling at my school. John does something, teaches wrestling. Okay. At my school, this is an adverb phrase of place. Prepositional phrase working as an adverb phrase of place. This is where the action is, action basically happens. John teaches wrestling where? At my school. This is where action happens. All right, passive voice. Wrestling is taught by John at my school. Wrestling is taught by John. We can mention the doer if we want to, if it is important to mention the doer, but still the focus is on the object, which is wrestling. Wrestling is taught by John at my school. Okay, we can say wrestling is taught at my school, right? This is done at my school. Wrestling is taught at my school. Now, who does that? We can mention the doer. We don't generally do that, but we have an option to do that. Wrestling is taught by John at my school, or wrestling is taught at my school. What happens at your school? Wrestling is taught at my school. Who does that? Not important. This happens at my school. This is more important. This happens at my school is more important than who does that. Getting the point? Okay. All right, let's look at the negative sentences. Let's look at the structures. So active voice, subject followed by do or does. So a singular subject will have does, a plural subject will have do, followed by the word not, which is a negation. All right, followed by a verb in the base form. Okay, verb in the base form followed by the object. Passive voice, first comes the object followed by is mr to be form of verb, followed by not, followed by past participle, followed by, this is optional, by plus the doer, which is the subject, original subject of the sentence, which is optional. All right, active voice. Nobody respects me. Nobody respects me. Okay, this is in the active voice. Passive voice, I am not I. Me is the object in the active voice. It's the object in the active voice. It will become the subject in the passive voice. So the subject has to be a subjective pronoun. If it's a pronoun, it has to be the subjective pronoun. So me will become I in the passive voice. All right. So I am not respected. I am not respected by anyone. I can say that I'm not respected by anyone. Okay. So what is the difference between these two sentences? In the first sentence, I focus on people. I focus on people and on the fact that they do something. In the second example, I focus on me receiving something. I focus on the fact that I don't get something. That people, I don't focus on the person that does something. I focus on the person that receives the action, which is me in this case. All right, I am not respected. I'm not talking about the people who don't respect me. I'm talking about the person who doesn't get respected, which is me in this case. All right, I'm not respected by anyone. Second example, active voice. My parents don't allow us to go out after 10 p.m. My parents don't allow is the verb, allow us us what? To go out after 10 p.m. So our parents is the subject, do is the helping verb, not is the negation, allows the main verb, us is the indirect object, to go out is the direct object, after 10 p.m. is a prepositional phrase working as an adverb of time, talking about the time of the action. They don't allow us to go out when? After 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 p.m. Okay. So passive voice. We're not going to focus on who doesn't do this action. We'll focus on who doesn't, who is not allowed to do something. All right. Who is not allowed to do something after 10 p.m., which is us in this case. So us will become the subject in the passive voice. So us will be changed into we. All right. So we aren't, we is a plural subject. So aren't, we are not allowed, allowed. We're not allowed to go out. We are not allowed to go out, after 10 p.m. Now, if you want to talk about the doer of the action, the person or the people who do not allow you to go out after 10 p.m., you can do that. You can just add the person using by plus the person. By our parents. All right? You can do that. And if the focus is on the person who performs the action, then you'll write the sentence in the active voice. You'll say, our parents do not allow us to go out after 10 p.m. Got the point? This is how we write negative sentences. Okay. Now, interrogative sentences, everything is just the same. First comes WH words, question words like what, where, why. All right. If you have any of these words, then comes the helping verb, which is do or does. Singular subject does, plural subject do, followed by the subject, followed by V1, the verb in the base form, followed by object, followed by this snake question mark. All right, passive voice, WH words followed by is MR, followed by the object, because this is what we focus on, followed by the past participle, followed by plus the doer of the action, which is the original subject, and this is optional. Let's look at some examples. Example number 1. Active voice. Doesn't he call you every day? Sorry, everyone is not the right word. Every day. Doesn't he call you every day? So does he call you every day? I'm basically asking a question. I want to know something. Does he call you every day? Does he do something? Does he call you every day? Now, if I want to focus on the person that receives an action, I'll write the sentence in the passive voice. Are you called every day? Are you called every day? Are you called every day by somebody? Now, I don't want to focus on the person that does the action, or I already know who does the action. I just want to focus on the fact whether you receive this action every day or not. Are you called every day by him? If I want to do that, I can do that. Or if I just want to focus on the person who does this action, I'll write the sentence in the active voice. Does he call you every day? All right, second example. Why do you pay him more? Why? So here, in the first example, the sentence is starting with the helping verb. In the second example, before the helping verb, we have a WH word, question word basically. All right. Why do you pay him more? Do you pay him more? That's a question, and the answer will be in yes or no. Here, why is used to get some information. Why do you pay him more? Why do you do something? Why do you pay him more? So you is the subject and him is the object. Him will become the subject in the passive voice. All right. So him will become he. Why is he paid more? Why is he paid more? By whom? By you, obviously. We can add that, but that's not needed, right? Why is he paid more? Why is he paid more? Who does that? Not important. We already know who that person is, all right? Or we don't care about the person who does that. We just want to know why it happens. Why does this person receive this action? All right, let's clear this. Last example. Where does she call you for practice? Where question word, does helping verb, she subject, call verb in the base form, you object, for practice, prepositional phrase. Okay, where does this happen? Where does she call you for practice? If the focus is on the person that receives the action, which is you, we'll write the sentence in the passive voice. Where are you? Where are you called for practice? Where are you called for practice? आपको practice के लिए कहाँ बुलाया जाता है? By somebody, right? Where are you called for practice? By somebody. The focus is on you, the person that receives the action. All right? So this is how we write interrogative sentences. Now, guys, I have some examples for you. Some examples for you to practice. So on your screen, we have 10 sentences, right? And these sentences are in the active voice. What you guys have to do is, you guys have to change the voice. You have to change the active voice into the passive voice. And the answers are on my website, okay? So in the description, we have a post on a present indefinite tense passive voice, right? So check that post out after watching this video, check that post out. Go through the post, and at the end of the post, we have the answers to all these questions, right? That's all about today's lesson, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope now you know when to use present indefinite tense in the passive voice. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, hit the like button. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, press the notification button as well, so that every single time I publish a lesson, you get notified and you get to watch it right away. And if you have any questions, any doubts, do let me know in the comment section below, and I will answer your questions. And I'll see you guys soon. Till then, keep learning, have fun. I'm on. Namaskar.